The Witcher universe is full of unique creatures, beings, and monsters, inspired by mythology, European folklore, and the imagination of Andrzej Sapkowski, the creator of this fantasy world. In this video, I bring you 16 of those creatures, but if you want a part 2, do not hesitate to ask for it in the comments. Number 1. Plague Maidens. Also known as pestis, are spectral entities that personify disease and death. These creatures are linked to epidemics and misfortunes, appearing in places devastated by diseases, to sow even more terror and destruction. They are manifestations of dark magic, or the collective despair of the dying. Their form is spectral, with disfigured bodies wrapped in rags that float as if they were smoke. They have a dark aura that emanates rot, accompanied by swarms of flies and a nauseating stench. Their faces are hidden or deformed, with glowing eyes that reflect suffering and fury. Number 2. Kikimor. Kikimor are insectoid monsters that inhabit swamps and wet areas. These creatures are dangerous, both for their strength and for their ability to ambush their prey from the mud or water. They are a deadly threat to even the most experienced hunters. They have a hybrid body between insect and arachnid, covered by a dark and hard exoskeleton with brown, green, or black tones that allow them to camouflage themselves in the swamp. Their limbs are long and pointed, designed to pierce or cut their victims. Their head is small and repulsive, with compound eyes and jaws capable of crushing bones. Some Kikimor have a more voluminous abdomen that they use to transport eggs or venom. Number 3. Night Wraiths. These specters are born from moonlight, wind, and the earth, cooling after the heat of the day. They rise above the ground and spin in a mad dance that no mortal should see. If the mortal is found to be spying, they are blinded by the moonlight, then taken into the circle and forced to dance until they die, sometimes turning into a night wraith. They are the result of tragic deaths or betrayals that left their spirits trapped in the mortal world, doomed to wander eternally and unleash their wrath upon the living. They have a spectral and terrifying figure, with translucent bodies wrapped in rags or torn dresses, often similar to those they wore in life. Their face is often disfigured or covered by their hair, giving off an air of sadness. Number 4. Echidna. They are lesser vampiric creatures, similar to alguls in behavior, but more powerful and dangerous. Unlike higher vampires, Echidna do not possess great intellect or advanced social skills, acting more like wild beasts than rational beings. They have a grotesque form, with pale or grayish skin, long limbs, and sharp claws. Their mouth is filled with pointed teeth, designed to tear flesh and drain blood. They are fast, agile, and deadly in close combat. They can turn nearly invisible by moving quickly, making them very difficult to attack. Sunlight weakens them, and they are vulnerable to silver. They prefer to live in dark, damp places, such as caves, ruins, or dense forests. They attack primarily at night and rarely interact with humans directly, except when they are hungry. Number 5. Him. These are evil spirits associated with curses and intense regrets. These entities do not possess a physical body of their own, but are dangerous due to their ability to manipulate their victims. They have no visible form in their natural state, but can manifest as shadows. They are perceived as oppressive presences, or are felt before they are seen. They feed on the guilt and psychological suffering of their victims. They may become obsessed with someone who has committed a horrible act, or is suffering from an extreme emotional burden, tormenting them to the point of insanity or death. They can influence the thoughts and actions of their victims. They manipulate reality to create terrifying illusions. Number 6. Noon Wraiths. These are vengeful spirits that appear mostly during the hottest hours of the day, lurking in open fields and rural places. They are related to romantic tragedies or injustices that occurred in life, such as betrayals, violent deaths, or failed marriages. They have a spectral female form, dressed in bridal gowns or simple clothes that float as if in the wind. Their appearance is cadaverous, with pale faces and empty eyes that radiate a disturbing melancholy. They attack peasants and lonely travelers, especially men, to whom they may be attracted due to memories of their past life. Number 7. Arachas. Arachas are monstrous insectoid creatures that resemble huge spiders or beetles. They are fierce and territorial predators, known to ambush their prey and turn their lairs into deadly traps. They have massive bodies covered in a thick, tough exoskeleton, providing them with excellent defense against physical attacks. Their long, sharp legs end in claws that they use to slash and stab their enemies. Some possess enormous jaws capable of crushing bones or spewing toxins. They are highly territorial and will attack anyone who comes too close to their nest. Number 8. Leshy. Leshy are ancient and powerful guardians of the forest, revered and feared for their connection to nature and their ability to control their environment. These creatures are extremely territorial and will mercilessly attack those who disturb their domain. They have a humanoid but macabre form, with bodies covered in bark, branches, and moss. Their heads are often decorated with deer skulls or twisted antlers. They protect the forests and eliminate any threats, be they human, animal, or monster. Number 9. Sea serpents. These gigantic creatures are a menace in the open waters. Known for their colossal size and ferocity, they represent one of the greatest dangers to sailors and have inspired countless horror stories among sailors. They have long, scaly bodies that can reach dozens of meters in length. Their colors vary between greenish, bluish, or grayish tones, ideal for camouflaging in the water. Their heads are reptilian, with bright eyes and sharp fangs, designed to destroy boats and devour whole prey. Before continuing, if you find the video interesting, remember to give it a like and leave your comment. Number 10. Fiends. Fiends are gigantic and fearsome creatures considered one of the most lethal predators. Their body is massive and muscular, covered in dark, thick fur. They have 3 eyes, the central one being a magical eye that they use to disorient and control their prey. Their head is similar to that of a deer, with large twisted antlers that they can use as weapons in combat. Their legs are powerful and end in claws capable of destroying rocks and armor. They live in dense forests and mountainous regions where they can stalk their prey without being discovered. Their lairs are often marked by the remains of their victims, with bones and corpses scattered around. Number 11. Drowned. Drownings are one of the most common and dangerous creatures lurking in bodies of water in the Witcher universe. They are aquatic monsters that feed on the remains of corpses or attack the unwary who venture too close to their territory. They have deformed humanoid bodies with blue-green, swollen, rotting skin, a result of their life in stagnant waters. Their eyes glow and their mouths are filled with sharp teeth designed to tear flesh. They also possess long, bony claws that they use to attack quickly and brutally. They are scavengers by nature, but will not hesitate to attack the living if they are hungry or feel threatened. Number 12. Golem. Golems are magical constructs created by sorcerers and wizards to serve as guardians or soldiers. These soulless creatures are resilient and obey orders relentlessly, making them formidable foes. They generally have massive bodies made of stone, clay, metal, or even magical crystals. Their humanoid form gives them an intimidating appearance, with thick limbs and a sturdy build designed for battle. Some variants have runes or magical inscriptions etched into their bodies, which enhance their power or link them to their creators. Number 13. Wraiths. These are tormented spirits who were trapped in the mortal world due to trauma, curses, or violent deaths. They have a vaporous form, with translucent bodies and pale faces that radiate a mix of anger and sadness. They are wrapped in rags or shadows and seem to float rather than walk. They are found in places charged with negative energy, such as cemeteries, abandoned castles, battlefields, and houses where tragedies occurred. They are tied to a specific place or object, usually related to their death or the grievance that keeps them in this world. They attack the living, especially those who approach their territory or possess something they covet. Number 14. Water hags. Water hags are creatures of vile nature that lurk in stagnant bodies of water. Although they have a deformed human appearance, they are brutal and murderous monsters that mercilessly attack anyone who comes too close to their territory. They have a hunched, thin body with grayish or greenish skin covered in mud, algae, and other swamp substances. Their face is particularly terrifying, with sunken eyes, sharp teeth, and a long, hooked nose. Their long fingers end in sharp claws that they use to tear apart their victims. They are extremely territorial and rarely leave the swamps, ponds, or pools where they live. They often decorate their lairs with bones and remains of their victims, making them even more macabre. Number 15. Wyverns. Wyverns are flying creatures that belong to the dragon family. Although not as powerful as dragons, they are still deadly and feared by travelers and hunters due to their strength, speed, and aggressive nature. They possess bodies covered in tough scales that range in color from earthy brown to greenish or grayish hues. They have 2 strong hind legs and sharp claws, along with a pair of membranous wings that they use for both flight and attack. They have a long, muscular tail, often ending in a poisonous stinger that they use to poison their enemies. They have elongated heads with sharp teeth and predatory eyes that are always on the lookout for prey. They are solitary hunters that patrol large territories, especially in mountains, cliffs, and open grasslands. They prefer to hunt large animals, but will not hesitate to attack humans if they invade their territory or appear to be easy prey. Number 16. Ghouls. Ghouls are carrion-eating creatures that feed on corpses and lurk in battlefields, graveyards, and places where death is plentiful. They are deformed humanoids with hunched, muscular bodies, covered in grayish or brown skin, and often riddled with scars and scabs. Their mouths are filled with sharp teeth designed to tear flesh, and their claws are long and curved. They walk in a clumsy, crouching manner, but move quickly when attacking. They prefer to feed on rotting corpses, but will not hesitate to attack the living if they are hungry, or if someone interrupts their feast. Subscribe if you like these types of videos, and don't forget to leave your comment. I'll wait for you in next week's video.